Hey there, my name is Niandra, and sorry for commentating over Dorado twice in a row. This is on my alt account Sombrero at 3490 SR. So this account began at 2700, and over the last few months I've been gradually climbing while showing it on Twitch, and for the most part it's been a really fun ride and it's helped a lot with my anxiety. This account actually already hit Masters on stream, and the day after I was like, okay, I'm going to play some games on my own to record and then commentate over. Well, my first match in Masters on this account was 2 CP and an ally left, so I guess I get a do-over in hitting it. At the very least, I hope you can see the difference in performance between this VOD and my last one. Okay, so my positioning starts off fine, I'm behind the shield, but for some reason I walk right then back, which exposes me for like half a second. Luckily the enemy Widow ahead is aiming at someone else, but this would have been a really embarrassing punish.
Turn the Malera.
Alright, my shield low.
Dorado defense is normally played by starting off here, then rotating here once the payload pushes up, which is what most of my team does.
I killed 3, we can kill this Hammond please, I'm gonna die.
See you, Widow.
I go for the res immediately because we have picks and enemy spawn is close. I knew Hammond was probably in the area, but I didn't really care. His damage output is relatively low and I had the doorway. Once the res is over, I go back to my previous position. Now, both our DPS are on high ground, our tanks are in front, and Anna is behind me. Because Anna's a main healer capable of keeping these two alive, I should have repositioned to the right and played from either here or here. Both would have let me attend to our snipers, and I could easily get back to everyone else. When running Anna Mercy, you have very high healing output and it can be okay for the team to play split. The downside is lack of defensive ult, which is a hefty price to pay, and it means you really need to take advantage of, well, the advantages.
Like Mercy, just stick with me, Anna can heal the entire team. Just stick with me when I'm on high ground.
Turret.
I can clap their team.
I can res in 3.
I look out for a res opportunity, but we grab near the corpse and enemy Winston places down his shield, which would cut off Anna's healing to me, so whatever, let's just get back instead.
I got him. Oh, wait, I think Widow might be flanking us behind, so watch out, Widow.
Oh well, Nano Zarya next fight.
Oh, they swapped out, never mind.
Interesting ult, he's probably gonna swap.
I'm watching it.
I activate ults because this looks to be the start of a fight, and I'm stunned in a mess of enemies, like, please give me my control back. Okay, so Ashe also uses ult, and I love damage boosting Bob, and will often just fully commit to it. A couple of times in this VOD, you're going to see me prioritise it over healing allies, and often that is a perfectly valid play. However, here I'm in Valkyrie, which gets more value the more allies I hit. I definitely had time to heal our Widow, maybe even could have body blocked some shots and then fly above the battlefield to help the rest of my team.
I have no Ana.
Torb is 1 on point.
A Sombra behind me. On.
I'm stuck out behind alone.
Oh,
chasing.
Torb wasted his ult.
You guys are all split up, you go.
Yeah, I know, I got stuck behind.
If Zarya dies quickly, she may be able to respawn before the enemy caps and get the same spawn as me. The longer she stays alive, the more she's going to potentially stagger herself and the team. Our soldier pushes ahead pretty early, and since point 2 is normally played here, I assume he's setting up a flank. We absolutely cannot have soldier die right now since we're not fully regrouped, and I remember my mistakes from earlier, so let's follow him. With the enemy team running Tracer and Sombra, I'm happy to position here and watch for them. Tracer especially, I should be able to see or hear before she gets close. I can also escape to my other allies if I'm fast enough. Once they do attack, I try to use the doorway for cover and dance around that soldier. You know, just being annoying. If I wasn't hacked, I probably would have used the airspace more.
I have another guy.
Not good. Nah, god damn it.
I DB from the high ground while soldier repositioned, and I'm pretty exposed, but the enemy team is relatively short ranged, so I'm comfortable doing this. I would not have stayed here if the enemy team was running Widow or Hanzo or whatever. Okay, so I've never walked across this beam before, and it's pretty fiddly, so I fall off as I get hacked. Instead of learning new things in comp, I guess I should have flown to allies early, then press space to push myself up to the corner. I don't think there's a whole lot I could have done against the death itself. Enemy Winston and Tracer focusing me after the hack was a pretty sweet play from them.
Aiming is super low.
Run away.
Tactical visor ready for deployment.
I want to go up top there with you guys.
I Valk now because we use Bob, displaying commitment to the fight, and mainly because I'm sick of being bashed around by this goddamn monkey. Since the Valkyrie speed bug is still in, I am happy to attempt this res, but just want some health regenerated first. During this next fight I'm gonna briefly lag, which I do apologise for, and it really just scrambles me. Not sure if I could have stabilised him, but you can see my beam is
Tracer's going for
flicking
the
on
mega by
off
the
that
stairs.
Reinhardt because of my ping. Our Zarya
Sombra's half
pushes
on point.
ahead into the open, and I'm preoccupied with both our squishies and concerns about my game, so I basically ignore her.
Oh, I had no heals.
Sorry, I've been pushed
Except,
back.
except for Soldier's thing.
Once the enemy caps, I just ran myself at the enemies to die quickly. I could have hit to the right and attended to our soldier, which would have given me some ult charge, but not really worth the stagger.
I think.
I frequently talk about switching to damage boost immediately after healing someone to full, but I hear Hammond's slam line, so I stick on it. Hammond is rolling to the left here, and my vision must have been focused on allies here, cause I didn't notice. Winston then also pushes up, but he's slower and stays there, which I focus my attention on. So when Hammond comes to knock us, it's a surprise to me, and it really shouldn't have been. With Sombra aiming at me, my immediate Valk play is to go further into the sky because her damage drop-off is pretty harsh, although if I got hacked, this would have left me stranded.
Or him and Sombra.
You can try to sleep him
Those
if he goes
top
around.
left.
I possibly could have just walked over to Soldier's corpse, but instead I fly over here with the intention of then moving to Soldier when Guardian Angel is next available. I hear Dragon Strike go off, and I know it's like vaguely behind me, but that's it, so I stay still and crouch, which gets me hacked. With my back towards enemy spawn, this positioning is somewhat dangerous, but we have some good picks, and it felt like most enemies were just right somewhere. To be extra cautious, I could have been flicking my view here, here, and here.
We make a great team.
Going up top too.
Recently, I've noticed a lot of Wrecking Balls will stun, then use ult, or vice versa, and unless I have Valkyrie, it's pretty effective against me. It's definitely something I'm gonna start looking out for and trying to predict. I'm sure it's not too hard to play around once you're aware, and have good fly paths. I remember at the time thinking, don't res Reinhardt, we have a lot of picks and the enemy team is currently regrouping, plus our spawn is like really close. Basically, I should leave this so we have res for the next actual fight, but I go for it anyway, and this may not seem like a big deal, but watch the enemy team punish it. 20 seconds later, the enemy team gets a pick that I cannot res. If the enemy team is regrouped and smart, they'll play aggressively because of the number advantage, which I cannot even out. Reses done outside of a fight like that are kinda sneaky misplays and aren't often called out, but stay alert anyway. As for that death, I think I played fine against Winston, and our Baptiste may have missed a healing ball on me. It doesn't really matter though, because our pushed up tanks are killing it.
Jump.
I damage boost Bob instead of healing until an enemy Winston shield is placed down, which could mess with Baptiste's ability to heal. If I had started healing earlier and positioned more on cart rather than back, I probably could have stabilised our Zarya. Since we had so many picks and another main healer, I just really wanted the boost, okay? Happy to res in the open because the outnumbered enemies aren't really in a position to focus me, and I hold down Q to Valk immediately because our soldier has also ulted.
Stay alive.
Score 0-2. Switching sides.
So, on my last commentary VOD, we were attacking Dorado. I was at the bottom door with our Doomfist while Farah was up top, and I mentioned, hey, I should be up there with her, and I'm gonna make the same mistake again here. At the start of attack, unless I can see or think an enemy is going to do quick damage at the spawn doors, I want to be using damage boost. I probably want my target to be the ally that's going to output damage first, so either someone highly mobile like Genji or Tracer that can push ahead, or long range characters like snipers who can immediately take shots from spawn. My goal is basically to get my ult charge generation started as soon as the round is. During this general push to the first corner, I spent most of it crouching behind the payload, which I feel is pretty dangerous, what with the Bastion and Orisa waiting to suck. You know, there's a passage to my side, and at least our Widow has the right idea to use it while injured.
That is a very aggressive Orisa.
You're gonna see our Widow ahead on the right get damaged, and I don't notice because I'm so focused on what's going on right in front of me. From here...
Orisa's one.
Orisa 1.
To here, I spend 3 seconds near the payload, not doing anything super vital, which is time I could have used positioning to our Widow quicker. At the very least, I should have told her to play safe while I was on my way.
They're all on me in the back. Thank you, Mercy. Nice bubble.
Top to our left.
Widow uses ult, and as you can see, Torbjorn stranded close while other enemies are much further back. I keep damage boost on her and play back, but pushing up to boost Zarya instead I think would have been fine. Our Widow gets some shots on their unlucky Bastion, but since her ult is already active, she's not currently gaining ult charge, which is one of the benefits of damage boost.
Come back, come back.
My healing spell is an enemy turret ahead. Watch your face.
I am happy to push up with our snipers, but they're a little distance from each other and covering 2 angles. Good for them, but it makes my job a little harder. Widow asks for healing, and while I keep an eye out, I stick with Ashe instead of going to her immediately. This is because Widow has more cover and is easier to res if she dies, while Ashe is very exposed.
Hog dropped. Ah, fuck.
He peeked me up top, I can res.
Oh, they're wasting.
I look at this and I'm like, I can tank this, right? This is like one of the few reses where I don't make use of Mercy's limited movement. An ally gets picked off and my immediate reaction is, let's get back, let's regroup. But then our Widow pops off and we use Grav, and my thought process goes to, shit, this is winnable, rather than, we've won this fight.
Okay.
Use ults if you have to. Make sure you win this fight.
This Valkyrie definitely could have been saved and would be so useful if the enemy team contested us again before we capped, which is a vital fight to win.
Wall behind you.
Hogs on me. Widow's
That
over there
Lucio
too.
just got absolutely fucked.
Well, shit.
Nice.
Big shatter.
That whole time.
Well, I was caught in the middle of the shatter as soon as he ulted.
Sarcastic.
Kind of unfortunate that the 1 second I look away from my squishies, a few of them get ground pounded. We cap the point and both teams have 2 picks, so I want to res even though we're very close to spawn to give our team the number advantage and maybe stop them from wiping us further. Sadly, I do a couple of actions with my back to our Reinhardt, so I don't know he's also dying.
Stuck in the Earth Shatter animation before.
I try to stand between Genji and Widow while she's low and body block where possible, which I really like doing as Mercy even though it can be dangerous. Should not have used my melee key though.
So fucking just like.
Anyway, that pick on Genji being drawn out is actually really cool because my team is fully regrouped and now the enemy team is going to have to go into the final fight with a person down. So I want to Valk as soon as an enemy tries to contest and damage boost as much as possible.
But he's low, yeah.
Tiny tip for shooting stuff like the lamp is remember that Mercy's gun is projectile based with a travel time. You can take shots then immediately flick back to the beam before they land, which allows for small multitasking. I fly to and hover around Widow, and instead of rezzing immediately, I watch for enemy Genji to use his dash, then go for it once I know he's at a distance.
Jeez, your invulnerability things are fucking tilting me, hope you know that.
I know.
You're always just a little bit late.
I fly to Bob and land next to him, rather than pressing space and pushing into the corridor, which leaves me a little exposed. Once only enemy Hammond is left, we go full damage boost. Boosting non or auto-aim heroes against stallers like him or Lucio is great because they don't care about them being slippery. The death to Widow is pretty sloppy and might have fucked us over if we hadn't immediately won, but oh well. And there we go. Once again, this account is master, although it will end up falling again next game. It's annoying, but hey, it happens to everyone. Try not to worry about it. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out my Patreon and have a nice day.